Welcome to our demo on Elevated Access Management in Pathlock Cloud. In this video, we'll show how Pathlock helps you control privileged access through temporary, time-bound roles. Users can request elevated access based on their operational needs, and all activity is automatically logged for complete visibility and compliance. We'll walk through the request process, the approval workflow, and what a completed session looks like from an audit perspective. Pathlock allows users to submit requests through both its cloud platform and a customizable end-user portal. In this example, we will demonstrate how to request an elevated role using the end-user portal, highlighting the simplified request process for users. The community portal displays multiple tiles. For this demonstration, we'll focus on the Request Access tile. On the Request Access screen, you can set restrictions on who is allowed to perform elevated access management using different personas. Now, let's click on Elevated Access Management. On the Elevated Access Management screen, you'll find several request tiles for the various types of elevated access you wish to grant. Pathlock Cloud offers two flexible ways to manage elevated access based on your organization's needs. First, there's the Elevated Role method. In this approach, a privilege role is temporarily assigned to the user's existing ID. The user keeps working under their standard account, and both regular and elevated activity is fully tracked. The second option is Elevated Access IDs. Here, the user checks out a separate ID that already has elevated permissions. They log in using this temporary ID, and only that elevated session is recorded. Once the session ends, the password automatically expires, and the account is relocked. Both methods are fully supported in Pathlock Cloud, giving you the flexibility to choose what works best for your business, while maintaining complete audit visibility and control. Today, we will focus on the Elevated Access Role request. Now, let's select the role we need. First, we select the system we want to assign additional roles to. In this example, we'll use SAP. Then we select the user, Jack Labert, and click Next to see the user details, including name, title, department, and company. Click Next. Now, let's walk through how a user submits a request for elevated access. Users have the option to schedule access in advance by selecting a future date and start time. They also specify the number of hours needed, making this a time-bound request. Once that window expires, access to the elevated role is automatically revoked. The same time-bound logic applies to elevated IDs as well. When the session ends, the password is rotated and access is removed, ensuring full control and security. To request a role, the user can either paste in the exact role name or type a few characters to search from a list of requestable roles. Once selected, the role is added to the request for approval. Click Add Role. Here, we can specify the reason for the access request, whether it's an emergency change, a plan change, a project implementation, or an incident. If it doesn't fit these categories, you can select Other and provide a justification. For emergency changes, you can include the corresponding incident number from your ITSM system if there's a related change management request. This ensures full traceability between change requests and the actions taken within the application. Click Next. We agree to the organization's terms and conditions and submit the request. Now that we've completed a request, let's show an administrator's view and what it looks like to go and review these requests. The reviewer receives a notification and is directed to the inbox screen. They can access it by clicking the inbox icon in the navigation menu. From the inbox screen, reviewers can search for specific access requests. In this example, we see that Jack submitted a request for an SAP role. By clicking into the request, we can view all the details associated with it. Here, we can see that the request was submitted on behalf of Jack, along with the date, who submitted it, the role type, and the specific role requested. We also see Jack's employee and organizational details, along with the session start time and any linked incident ticket or justification. All of this information is captured for full traceability and audit readiness. To see more details about the role being added, the Role Mapping view shows exactly what was assigned. It also displays a risk indicator icon if the role includes high risk or sensitive access. This helps flag potential segregation of duties issues or critical access risks detected by the system, so reviewers can make informed decisions before approving the request. Next is the workflow history, which provides a detailed step-by-step audit trail for each request. You can see who submitted the request, who it was submitted for, and who is currently reviewing or has approved it. In this example, Tony submitted the request on behalf of Jack, and it's still under review by the access owners. Below, you'll also see any updates made to the request, including who made the change, what field was updated, the previous value, and the new value. All of this information supports audit readiness and helps reviewers determine whether the access is appropriate. The reviewer can either approve or reject the request. To do so, they select their decision, add any comments or justification, and click OK. If approved, the workflow proceeds to provision the user with the elevated role. If rejected, no access is granted. The request is simply closed, and the reason is documented and sent back to the requester for visibility. In the event of a completed elevated access session, Pathlock also provides detailed session records. Here, for example, we can view the session completed by Carol Razor. You'll see who submitted the request, who it was for, and all the key details associated with the access request. But the key difference here is in the history section. Now that the session is completed, the system has added additional context to the request. If we click back into the request details and scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you'll see that files have been automatically uploaded. These files contain a record of all activities and changes performed during the session. They are fully documented and available to download for review or audit. We also track all activity within the request under the Activities tab. This is where Pathlock delivers a key differentiator. A complete did-do analysis of what actually happened during the elevated session. You'll see a full change log of the tables that were modified, how many changes occurred, and even whether each action was an insert, update, or delete. In this example, several high-risk objects were changed while Carol's session was active. Pathlock logs this at a granular level, showing exactly which data points were touched and what actions were taken. This gives auditors full transparency into the session, ensuring both accountability and compliance. And because access is automatically revoked after the session expires, users must follow the standard request process if additional elevated access is needed, keeping your organization secure and in control. To learn more about elevated access management from Pathlock, visit www.pathlock.com and request a customized demo today.